Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom, everyone.
Shabbat Shalom.
You could do a little better than that. Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Okay, now I know that it's Shabbat, and you're excited to be here, not just to celebrate Shabbat, although I'm sure that's most of it, but to also celebrate with Halie and with her family, because Halie has worked so incredibly hard, not just over the last 6 or 9 months to prepare for this day, but since she was a baby here in the ECC. So some of you may have seen Emily's picture on Facebook of Halie, a Shabbat girl, the other day, holding her Torah in the back of the room. And so today she'll hold a little bit of a different Torah. She's upgraded. But I do have the stuffed one, so if you need that, I do have those too. But today she'll have she's a little bit of a different relationship with Torah. And we're just so excited to celebrate with you as you take this next step on your Jewish journey and become a Jewish adult. So we are really excited to have all of you with us this evening, and we also want to limit the participation of those who are not in this room. So if you have not turned off or silenced your devices, now is a great time to do it, because we don't need to talk to anyone else for the next hour and a half or so while we're here. So we can just put them under our seats, forget they're here, put them in our pockets. We're also live streaming, so hello to everyone joining us on live stream. And we are thrilled to get started with our service. So I'm going to invite you to turn to page 213. And as we begin tonight, the third prayer down here, the third song, Hine ma tovu manayim shevet achim gam yachad, which means how good, how awesome it is for all of us to be able to be here together this evening.
Hine ma tovu manayim shevet achim gam yachad. Hine ma tovu manayim shevet achim gam yachad. Hine ma tov shevet achim gam yachad. Hine ma tov shevet achim gam yachad. Hine ma tovu manayim shevet achim gam yachad. Hine ma tovu manayim shevet achim gam yachad.
We turn to page 214 and continue with Ashrei.
Ashrei,
Ashrei,
Yoshvei, Beitecha, Od Yehalelucha, Od Yehalelucha.
Continue silently.
Tehillat Adonai edaber pi, vivarech kol basar, Shem kodsho leolam va'ed, va'anachnu nevarech ya me'ata v'ad olam. Hallelujah, hallelujah.
We are now getting ready to move into our Mincha Torah service. But before we do that, we need to present Halie with a talit. So I'm going to invite Halie's parents, Emily and Brian, to come join Halie up here on the bima to present her with this talit, which is really quite special. So Brian, do you want to say a word about this talit?
Here's the microphone. So this talit is a special one for our family. I'm supposed to be the one not crying in this moment. This was Emily's father's talis. So while he's not here with us for real, he's with us in spirit.
Amen. Halie, as you wear this talit today, we hope that you feel the connection to your past and to those that came before you, and that it can help ground you today and every day as you connect with our history and our traditions and our values, and as you step forward and begin to make all of these your own. We're going to turn to page 217. You guys, thank you. And Halie and Cantor Benjamin are going to lead us in Chatzi Kaddish around the middle of the page.
Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah.
Amen.
V'yamati v'rakirutei v'yamlich malchutei
V'chayehonu v'yomecha u'chayedecho Beit Yisrael Bagala Bagala Uvizman Kariv
v'imaru
Amen. Yehi Shmei Rabba Mevorach Liolam Liomei Omaya Yibarach
Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitna'ar v'yitramah v'yitnaseh v'yitador v'yitaleh v'yitalah shemei kedusha
Brichu
le'elam mikol hirata v'shirata
Tushbihata v'nehemata Damiran v'yalma
v'imaru
Amen. We turn to page 218, and I'd like to invite to the bima Halie's cousins, Sophia and Charlotte Vicenti, and also her brother, Jordan Rosenfeld, to help us open the ark in just a moment. So we have just like 2 lines. But you know what? I'm going to invite all of you to rise if you're comfortable and able to do so that we're ready to go when we get there. Jordan, why don't you come on this side, Jordan? Okay, girls, you can stay there.
Lecha Adonai et ratzon Elohim beroch chasdecha aneni b'emet yishecha.
Okay, Charlotte and Sophia, come over here. Here, you hold over here. Hold here. Okay, now you gotta pull really hard. Use all your muscles. Okay. Okay. Keep going. Okay. Stay here.
Vayivin Saharon vayomer Moshe Kuma Adonai v'yafutzu oivecha v'yanusu mesanecha mipanecha Ir mitzion teitzei Torah Ir mitzion teitzei Torah Udevar Adonai miYerushalayim Baruch Shenatan Torah Baruch Shenatan Torah Li'amo Yisrael B'Kedushato.
Watch out. All right, now we gotta close it again, okay? Wait, we gotta close it. So now you gotta push really hard, really hard. Okay, you got it. Keep pushing, keep pushing. All right, you got it. All right, you guys can go back to your seats. Nice job.
Gadlu l'Adonai iti, un'romima shemo yachtav.
Good to go around.
Lecha Adonai hagidula ve'hagibura ve'atferet ve'hanetzach ve'havod. Kivol v'shamayim u'va'aretz, kivol v'shamayim u'va'aretz. Adonai t'marach yachid ha'aseh le'kol roshroshenu. Adonai Eloheinu, v'nishtachavo l'adov raglav. Kadoshu, romdemu Adonai Eloheinu, v'nishtachavo le'har kodsho. Zikadosh Adonai Eloheinu, osei shalom yiromah, oyasei shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, v'imru amdei. Yasei shalom, shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael. Yasei shalom, shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, v'imru amen.
You may be seated. Okay. So we are getting ready to read from our Torah scroll, which means that I'm going to ask you in a moment to take out the larger of the two red books, and we are going to be reading starting from page 660. So this week, actually the parsha that we read this morning and the one that we start reading tonight that we'll be reading next week, in some years when it's not a leap year, they're one big parsha, which makes sense because they're sort of have a lot of similar things that they're talking about. And so Halie will share a little bit more about the Torah portion later and some great meaning that she was able to draw out of it, of sort of how it also connects with our lives today and maybe our own lived experiences. Because on the one hand, as you're reading about kind of purification rituals and this very strange skin disease that seemed to exist in the time, in sort of ancient times, and it was something that could be on your body, and it could be on your home, it could spread in all different ways. It was sort of very mysterious. So when we read that, it kind of feels like it's maybe far away from our own experiences of being able to, thank God, go to the doctor and ask for help if we need it. But you'll hear a little bit more later about some ways in which maybe we actually can, even in some of these parshiot, be able to find some meaning in it. So I will come join you over here as we get ready to read from our Torah today. Got it all there? Okay. Well, is this still for me? I'm happy to take it. This is a little high, so, okay. Alrighty. Batigale v'tera emachoto aleinu bizman karov v'yachon pleitatenu ufleitatamo beit Yisrael echino chesed al-rachamim v'laratzon v'nomar amen hakol havu godel Eloheinu unuchavod la-Torah Ya'amdu. We're going to invite Halie's grandparents, Mamam Susan and Papap Jerry Rosenfeld, and her Mimi Linda and Michael Rose, L'Aliyah Harishona, Baruch Shnatan Torah L'Amo Yisrael B'Kedushato, V'atem Hadvekim B'Adonai Elohechem, Hayim Kolchem Hayom. And for our first Torah reading, our Torah reader will be Halie's dad, Brian Rosenfeld. Yes, I'll take an eye out. Hold on here, let me move that so you can see it. So, yes, where, yeah. Yeah.
Baruch Adonai Hambarah.
Baruch
Baruch Atah Hambarach Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu Melech HaOlam. Asher b'chabanu mikol ha'amin v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch Atah Adonai Notein HaTorah.
Amen.
Amen. Vaydaber Adonai el Moshe lemor. So tiye Torat hametzorah bayom tohorato vihuvaha el hakohen v'yatza hakohen amihutz lamahane vera'ah hakohen v'hine nirpa nega hatzarat min hatzaruat v'yatza v'tziva hakohen v'laka lemataher shtei sheparim hayot tahorot v'etz erez ushni teloat v'ezov v'tziva hakohen v'shachat et hatzipur ha'echat el kli heretz almayim chayim. Touch your talita right there.
Baruch Adonai Eloheinu Melech Haolam. Osir natan lanu Torah emet. V'chayei olam yatag l'totenu. Baruch Atah Adonai Notein HaTorah.
Amen. Yashar Kochachav.
I don't know what that means.
Nice job. Actually, it kind of really means like more power to you.
Thank you.
And do I recall that this was also your bar mitzvah parsha?
Correct, which
So
is why my wife thought it was nice that I'd be reading from the Torah tonight.
So happy bar mitzvah-versary to you.
Thank you.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, Halie's parents, Brian and Emily Rosenfeld, you're going to stay here. Emily will join you. You guys go over there. La'aliyah Shenit. And our readers for our second Aliyah are going to be Halie Rosenfeld along with Mindy Davidoff. Feeling very brave taking on an Aliyah before your son's bar mitzvah. And we are picking up on page 661 at verse 6.
Baruch Adonai Hambarach.
Baruch Adonai Barach Le'olam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hambarach Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu Melech HaOlam. Asher b'harbanu mikol ha'amim v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch Atah Adonai Notein HaTorah.
Amen.
Where am I? Amen. Amen. Et hatzipur hachaya yikach ota v'et eitz ha'erev v'et sheni hatulaat v'et ha'ezov v'taval otam v'et hatzipur
Sipur, that's right.
hachaya v'dam hatzipur
Hatzipur.
hashichuta al hamayim hachayim v'hiza al hamitacher min chatzirot sarat sheva pe'amim v'ti haro v'shilach et chatzipur hachaya al pnei hasadeh.
V'hives hamitaher et bigadav v'gila et kol se'aro v'rahat v'mayim v'taher v'yahar yavo el hamahana v'yashav mihutz liyaholo shivat yamin v'haya bayom hashavi'i v'gilach et kol se'aro et rosho v'et zakano v'et gabo einav v'et kol se'aro wait v'yalea v'hibes et v'gadal v'hat et v'tzaro
Mayim v'taher. Touch the spot where she just did it.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torah emet v'hayei olam nata b'toheinu Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. Yashar kochechem. Okay, so we are going to take a quick breather for a Misha Berach for Cholim, a blessing for those in our community who are in need of healing, whether it's healing of the body or healing of the spirit. And so if there's someone, if you'd like to share a name and add them to our prayers today, I invite you to just raise up your hand, and if you'd like to share it out loud, you're welcome to do so. If you prefer to kind of hold that name quietly in your heart, that's also okay. But if you do want to share any names with us, just raise your hand. Okay. Well, I have a bunch of names that I'm going to add. Jenny Levy, Debbie Cohen, Eileen Silver, Benjamin Ben Rachmiel, Barbara Miller, Janice Webb, Jonathan Holland, Avraham Chaim Ben Ephraim, Yosefa Bat Chaim Vahanalea, Raphael Ben Reuven Vefega, Rhoda Bolkin, Shoshana Bat Miriam, Sibichaya Bat Yitzchak, Gilbert Benjamin, Saraleah Bat Devorah, Zivin Ben Yosef, Amy Babler, Eva Ray, Alyssa Bat Rachalea, Albert Davis, Yitzchak Ephraim Ben Chana, Mariasha Hashka Bat Rachel, Yita Bat Golda, Menachem Mendel, Yitzchak Ben Yita Ruth, Pam Burns, Edward Hotchkiss, Tomer Endy, Abby Goretsky, Monique Nesmith Joyner, Rick Zubo, Leslie Zubo, Max Zibbeldrut, Sandy Malkin, Kevin Gillen, David Hertzler, and Zvi Ben Zissel. Misha Beirach, Avatenu Abraham Yitzchak v'Yaakov, Imotenu Sarif Karachel v'Leah, Yivarach v'Ropei et HaCholim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu Yimaleh Rachamim, Aleichem l'chaziktam l'rafutam v'yishlach lachem mehira refuah shlema min hashamayim, refuat hanefesh, refuat haguf b'tok sh'ar HaCholim, v'chazeka yedei haskim b'tzorcheihem, Shabbat himel zok refuah krova lavo, hashabag alav, Yizman kariv, and Omar. Amen. We pray for a speedy recovery for all those we mentioned and all those who we might be holding in our hearts. All right. You're up.
I am?
Well,
Okay.
you know. So for the third Aliyah, there's 3 Aliyot tonight. For the third Aliyah, not only will Halie be reading from the Torah, which she's already done, so like no big deal there, but the really big deal of becoming a bat mitzvah is having the opportunity to say the blessings before and after the Torah, because this is an honor that is reserved only for adults in the Jewish community. So up until now, she was able to participate in community in lots of different ways, but not necessarily being able to say the blessing that her family has already kind of come up here to say. So because that's the big deal, we have kind of a big deal way of calling her up. So Cantor Benjamin has a big deal voice, so he gets to do it.
Tamod, 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 Habachora, Habat Mitzvah, Brina Chaya Nevet, Bat Baruch v'chani v'chanan, Matir Chizki.
Okay, and we're picking up at verse 10 if you're following along in the Chumash.
Take the yod in the one hand, take your tzitzit, touch base.
Baruch et Adonai Hambarach.
Baruch Adonai Baruch Le'olam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hamara Leolam Ba'ed Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bar banu mikol ha'amin benat talanu et Torato Baruch Atah Adonai noten ha'torah.
Amen.
Where'd it go? Ubayom. Down here.
Ubayom Hashamini Ikashene Hevasim Tamimi Bachinata Tamima Ushlusha Esronim Solet Minha Belula Vashemen Velo Ahad Shaman Be'emid HaKohen Hamit Taher Ish Hamit Taher Be'otam Lifnei Adonai Peta Helmoed Vela HaKohen Et HaKeves HaEhad Vehikriv Oto Ve'et Sham Ve'et Lo Hashaman Et Ve'henif Otam Tenufa
Lifnei Adonai.
Touch the spot.
Where you stopped. Yes.
Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torah emet v'hayei olam netav b'toheinu Baruch Atah Adonai noten ha'torah.
Amen. Simin tov, a mazel tov, a mazel tov, a simin tov, simin tov, a mazel tov.
Mazel tov, simin tov, simin tov, mazel tov, mazel tov, simin tov. Yehelanu, yehelanu, Kol Yisrael. Yehelanu, yehelanu, Kol Yisrael. Yehelanu, yehelanu,
Kol Yisrael.
Yehelanu, yehelanu,
Kol Yisrael. Torah speech? Okay. So Halie, what? Oh, I guess we should do that first.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so we are on page 220. Ta'amdu hamagbi havahagolelet. Please rise as we get ready to lift and dress our Sefer Torah. And we are very excited to invite up Halie's aunts, Jessie Vicente and Julie Reed, for this honor of lifting and dressing the Torah. And we can do this. We are strong women. We got this. It is not easy, but at least we're kind of in Leviticus, which means we're in the middle, so it makes it a little, at least more balanced.
V'zot haTorah asher sam Moshe lifnei bnei Yisrael.
Al pi Adonai v'yad Moshe. Torah, 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 Tziva lanu Moshe. Torah, 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 Tziva lanu Moshe. Torah, 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 Tziva lanu Moshe. Torah, 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 Tziva lanu Moshe. Yishar kochechem. That was amazing. Thank you. You may be seated. What? I said that. So now that we have had a chance to chant a little Torah, now we're going to have a chance to hear a little bit about the Torah reading that we just read, Parshat Mitzorah, and some of Halie's reflections on it as well.
My Torah portion for Parshat Mitzorah is about a time in the past when certain people were struggling with a condition called tzara or leprosy. They were struck with this disease for no apparent reason, and no one knew who would get it next. This was a skin condition that caused spots and rashes on people's bodies, and no one wanted to be around them because everyone was afraid they were contagious and they could get spots on their bodies too. The person with tzara was considered impure either because they didn't want to catch the disease, or maybe it was because they wanted to protect their loved ones from getting this disease as well. It created a lot of fear. This reminds me of something. Say in 2020. You could think of this like when COVID started. No one knew who could become infected with this disease or why. The Israelites eventually began to think that someone with tzara was impure and connected with this disease was death. And it became very scary, just as COVID was in 2020. Everyone was afraid to get COVID or be near someone who might have COVID, even though that person never really knew what they did to deserve the disease. Everyone just stayed away from each other in fear. In ancient times, for the spots and scales to go away, and for them to become pure again, they had to cleanse themselves, to become forgiven and clean again. Sometimes to do this, they had to go away and be alone for some time. At the end of their days of being alone, the high priest or Kohen decided if they were clean and could come back with their loved one. So if the person would be cleared of their disease and allowed to go back to their family, they had to go through a few rituals such as washing their hair, washing their clothes, shaving their hair, cleaning their body, and more, just to be allowed back into the town where they came from. That would truly show that they were pure again. This is exactly what happened to us in 2020 and still now. If someone gets COVID, they are required to take a test, stay inside, clean their homes, wear a mask, and stay away from others until they feel better and are COVID negative, just to be safe for themselves and others. This reminds me of when I was in school just a few years ago. My teacher said that we were going to have 2 weeks off because of a sickness called COVID. We were all so excited because there was going to be no school. What we didn't realize that this also meant that we were going to be isolated from our friends, families, teachers for months. We didn't realize that life as we knew it was going to change. During this time, I spent a lot of time with my family in our house, doing things together. We had a lot of time to play, talk, bake, read, and just be together. Some days felt long, but others were really nice. We reconnected with one another, and we were able to heal in some ways. My mom and dad actually said that the first few weeks of isolations were nice because even though we were scared of the unknown disease, we were forced to stop, slow down, and actually reflect and enjoy being together. As life got back to normal, we had a chance to decide what activities we wanted to do, we enjoyed doing and wanted to restart, and which one we wanted to stop. We didn't go back into isolation until a few months later, when my family all got COVID. I was actually the first one in my family to get it. I felt so bad. I felt like I did something wrong. My family told me otherwise. In a few days, we all didn't feel well. We isolated for 10 days. We cleaned our house, washed our sheets, and bleached almost everything. No one left or came inside our house for over a week. We had to purify ourselves and be COVID negative before we were allowed to go back to school, very similar to what the Israelites had to do in my Torah portion. When the 10 days were up, we were so excited to be back out in the world, and we were also relieved to feel healthy again and finally not embarrassed to have this disease anymore. My Torah portion reminds me of starting over fresh and clean in my life when something goes wrong. It takes some time to recover. People have to go through certain rituals to follow and follow rules to become better. This can be recovering from a physical disease, stress at school, or even recovering from a fight with a friend. Whatever the situation is, when people feel like they have something wrong with them, if they take some time to step back from the situation and heal, whether it be by taking medicine or saying a simple "I'm sorry," this time to stop and think might just help everything better and right again.
My turn. Nope, you get to stay here. Hola, ¿cómo estás? That's how every single lesson we had would start. Halie, I am incredibly proud of you. You are the embodiment of something I said last week. Anything worth doing is worth doing well. You did this incredibly well. An amazing job. When I was getting ready for my bar mitzvah, one of my friends had this Torah portion, and I remember him saying, "My sister got the 10 Commandments, and I got leprosy." The way that you are able to take something that is so incredibly foreign to us, pre-2019, and speak about it so poignantly and so eloquently is just amazing. And we are incredibly proud of you and everything that you have done. Your ability to understand such